Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to break down how you can become a way more powerful and persuasive writer. How to take your ideas from just concepts into real-world action.
That quote perfectly sets the stage for a pretty surprising story I want to share. We're talking about one of the most successful products in, well, ever. And believe it or not, it almost didn't happen because its own creator just wasn't sold on the idea. $448 billion. Just let that sink in. That's how much money smartphones brought in 2021 alone. And really, it's a market that was totally reshaped by one single device, the iPhone.
Yep, you heard that right. Steve Jobs himself was skeptical. He especially hated the idea of allowing outside apps on the phone. It actually took some serious persuasive skills from his senior execs to change his mind. And that just goes to show you, even the most revolutionary ideas on the planet need a powerful push to see the light of day.
All right, so here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with the power of persuasion, then jump back to Aristotle's timeless toolkit. After that, we'll see how it all applies to social media, dig into the actual craft of writing, and finally, wrap it all up with mastering modern communication. Okay, first up, the power of persuasion. It's so much more than just having a good idea. We need to get on the same page about what persuasion really is. It's not about tricking people. It's the engine that actually drives progress and turns a vision into something real.
So the key thing to get here is that it's not just about changing minds. That's only half the battle. Real persuasion motivates people to act. It's about presenting your ideas in such a compelling way that people feel genuinely inspired to get on board.
All right, let's get into Aristotle's timeless toolkit. We're talking ancient wisdom for modern business. And what's so wild is that these ideas, laid out over 2,300 years ago by Aristotle, are just as powerful and relevant today as they were back in ancient Athens. It's incredible, really.
First up is pathos. This is all about emotion. It's how you create a real connection with your audience. Think of a nonprofit that shares a really heartwarming story to get you to donate. They're not just giving you facts, they're making you feel something.
Next, we've got ethos. This is all about your credibility. It's the bedrock of trust. Why does a startup founder always talk about their past wins when they're pitching to investors? They're building ethos. They're proving that they're a credible, trustworthy expert who knows what they're doing.
And finally, there's logos. This is the appeal to pure logic and reason. This is the backbone of your argument. Think of a marketing manager using cold, hard data, like return on investment, to justify a bigger budget. It's the just the facts part of your case.
And here you can see how it all comes together. This table shows perfectly how these ancient ideas are used every single day in modern business. And here's the secret sauce. The most powerful arguments, they don't just use one of these. Nope, they weave all three together. You get an emotional story backed by credible sources, all supported by logical data. That's the trifecta.
Okay, so how does this all translate to the digital world? Let's talk about writing for social media. This is persuasion in the digital arena, a fast-paced, high-stakes game where you literally have seconds to grab someone's attention. Every word counts.
These 5 principles right here, they're pretty much universal. Doesn't matter if you're on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, whatever. You got to keep it positive, be concise, get to the point, think about unintended consequences, use strong visuals, and always include a call to action. Tell people what you want them to do next.
And if you're putting together a whole campaign, it's not just about, firing off random posts and hoping for the best. It's a structured process. You have to do your research, create the content, adapt it for each platform, get your timing right, and then, this is crucial, monitor it and analyze the results so you can get even better.
All right, let's zoom in a bit. The craft of writing. We're talking precision, clarity, and inclusivity. Because honestly, mastering the small stuff, the little building blocks of language, that's what separates good writing from truly great, persuasive writing.
Okay, let's talk about inclusive language. This is about way more than just being polite. When you make a simple shift, like from his to their, you're creating an environment where everyone feels included, respected, and represented. It seems like a small change, but trust me, it has a huge impact. Now, this is fascinating. The power of a simple comma. Look at how a pair of commas completely changes the meaning of the sentence. In that first example, the bonus is only for the employees who exceed their targets. That info is essential. But in the second one, the part about the CEO joining last year, that's just extra non-essential info. Those commas create clarity. And in business, clarity is king. So, we've gone from ancient Greece all the way down to the humble comma. Let's pull it all together. What's the big takeaway here? What does it really mean to master modern communication?
Well, it means this. Mastering the written word is really about mastering influence. From the grand strategy you build with pathos, ethos, and logos, all the way down to the tiny, careful placement of a single comma, your writing has immense power. It has the power to bring people together, to drive real, meaningful change, and, just like those executives at Apple showed us, to turn a great idea into a world-changing reality.